Welcome to the Same Side Selling Podcast. I'm your host, Ian Altman. Artificial intelligence, what future does it have and how will it impact the sales world? Now, this is a question that I've been hearing quite a bit lately with the emergence and popularity of things like chatgpt. This is an area where a lot of people are saying, well, how can we use these tools and what can we learn from them and what can it automate? In many cases, that's what people are looking for. Hey, can I have a chat bot that takes people through the sales cycle? And now once I get enough of that, I can offload some of this work from salespeople. And so I've been messing with ChatGPT. I used to run a software company, so all this stuff is kind of intriguing to me. And I want to show you a couple examples of what we came up with. And so I asked it the following question. I said, how do companies make buying decisions? And you notice I get this narrative paragraph back that talked about different things that they do and how they look at buying things. And that's all good and well. And it gave me, decent insight about what's the process that people go through in a pretty generic manner. Then I asked what I think is a better, more detailed question. And I asked the chatbot, how do B2B executives make decisions about which services to purchase when a request is made by one of the members of their management team? And what you'll notice if you're watching this on video as opposed to just listening to it online is a very detailed answer that said B2B executives typically use a structured decision-making process when evaluating requests for new services or products. The process can involve several steps, such as 1, assessing the need, and then it gives a detail of how they assess the need. 2, researching options, and it talks about how they research options. 3, evaluating costs and benefits. 4, making a decision. 5, communicating that decision to people on their team, and then it gives a summary related to that. And it's not to say that one answer is better than the other, but the second question got a much more detailed and useful response than the first question did. And just like in sales, with these artificial intelligence algorithms and these and platforms and tools like ChatGPT, what we realize is that the quality of the answer is directly related to the quality of the question. And too often in sales, we fall into the trap of asking the lazy question. So we ask somebody, like we gave a proposal and we say, hey, does that look good to you? And the client says, yeah. Well, I can tell you that if you say, hey, does that proposal look good? 90+% of the time, people are going to say, yeah, even if they don't believe so, because it was kind of a leading question and you got the answer you wanted to hear, not necessarily the truth. Effective sales is not about persuasion. It's not about coercion. It's not about you feeling good. It's about getting to the truth as quickly as possible. What that means is that we have to ask better questions. So instead of asking, hey, did you like that proposal? You could say, listen, I sent the proposal over. What did you feel was missing? And now we get them to think about what could be missing. What, if anything, has you concerned that you may not get the results that you need from what we proposed? Even if we do everything we said we would do, what might prevent you from achieving success? And now we're asking specific questions that will enable our client to actually feel like we care more about the outcome than we do just making the sale. See, if you want to use a chat bot and you ask it a generic, simple, lazy question, you're going to get a generic, simple, lazy answer. But if you asked it to, for example, I'd like you to compare same-side selling with this other system, you'd be amazed how detailed the response can be. In fact, I asked it, what is same-side selling? And ChatGPT gave a pretty good answer for what is same-side selling off the cuff. And then I said, hey, can you create a poem about same-side selling? And it did. And it was way more creative than I could have done. So now you're thinking, wow, maybe it can write emails for me, and it could draft a preliminary email for you. So I asked it, I said, please draft an email to an executive about a service offering. And it came up with an email that if we sent it would probably get a 0 response rate. And it was the typical type of email that people would send that the recipient would hit delete on in the first 3 seconds. So yes, it was accurate, but it wasn't necessarily the best one. So we might have instead asked it, give me a surprising email to an executive that might capture their attention different from the norm. And now I might get a different, more creative answer than if I just asked the lazy question. So the lesson in all this is that you want to spend time crafting the right questions to get better answers. And that's whether you're engaging with your client directly or if you're using any of these algorithms. Ask great questions, let it draft something for you, and then tailor it and adjust it. So you can use these tools to shorten your level of effort, which is great, but don't think for a second it's going to replace your role, because it's up to you to make sure that the client feels like you're addressing their specific needs and not a generic answer, which is what these chatbots are best at doing. If this is valuable for you, please feel free to share it, like it, subscribe, all those good things. And most importantly, if there's a topic you'd like me to cover, drop me a note to ian@ianaltman.com, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Same Side Selling Podcast. So long.